Why do I make pallet videos? Why do you dismantle pallets? Leave me a comment below. I'd love to know why. Hey folks, welcome back. If this is your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe button down there so that you don't miss a thing. And also click that bell notification icon so that you're notified when there's new episodes posted. And you love pallets, otherwise you wouldn't have found this video in the first place. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, why do I make pallet videos? So here's what it is. About maybe a decade ago, I started to get an interest in woodworking. I got myself a very cheap table saw at the time and a router. And that's basically pretty much how I got started. I kept going to big box stores and I found out wood is expensive. The price of the wood kept getting to me. I remember my first project was actually 2 shelves that I did in my kitchen. I must have worked on those 2 shelves a month. I did everything. The only hardware that I used to put those together were a couple of screws when I screwed the brackets to the shelves and screwed those shelves to the wall. They were beautiful, but unfortunately I don't have pictures of those. They were made of pine and I stained them to look like maple. But all this time, every time I want to start a new project, there it is again, the price of wood. Then one day I'm driving around and I see a pallet. And I look at it, I'm thinking, well, those are made out of wood. I'm sure I could break those down. Can't be that difficult. I mean, it's just a couple of nails and some wood, right? How hard can it be? Oh my God. Should have seen that first time. It was horrible. I go in, I ask permission for the guy. Can I take a pallet? No problem, help yourself. There's like 150 of them. So I go back, here I am. It's okay, I got the trunk of my car open. I'm down on all fours with a crowbar and a hammer. And I'm hammering away, hoping to get this crowbar lodged in between the rafter and the board so that I can pull it up. And I'm hammering away and hammering away. I think that in 45 minutes, I managed to do 1 pallet. It was absolutely crazy. And this was on my lunch break, so it's not like I could take hours and hours to just do this. So I was trying to rush through to get it done. So I get in front of the computer next time and I'm thinking, there's got to be a better way. So I'm searching left and right, and you know, I can find a couple of good videos. I can find Izzy Swan that made himself a pallet pal and he's selling that, and I can't even get one because by the time that I figure out that he's selling them, he's already taken it offline because he had to go into mass production just to keep up with demand. And I'm still thinking, how the hell can I make this easier? And I keep looking and I keep looking and I can't find anything that'll make a big difference. One day, I made myself my own pallet pal, but out of pine and 2x4s. I go out, I give it a good solid yank, and the thing splits right there in front of me. That's where I started Googling, and one of my friends says, you know what, I think you're Googling for the wrong thing. I've seen these things, they're basically deck busters. They're designed to tear apart a deck. Same principle as a pallet. You got a couple of boards on a 2x4, a 2x6, or a 2x8. That's exactly your situation. So we go online, we buy one, and I get my blue pallet buster. Now I go back to the place. I'm all proud. I got this huge crowbar that'll take pallets apart just like that. And here I am, I managed to take down 2 in 1 hour. I got to get used to it, get the technique right. I'm adjusting. Remember, at this point, there's no tutorials out there to actually show me how to do this. There's no expertise. You know, a little article here, a little article there, but at the end of the day, I got no information. After my first run, Pallet Buster is a complete success. But I look at all these boards, they're full of nails. I'm putting boards full of nails in the trunk of my car, and I'm thinking, okay, well, this is easy. I'm going to go home, I'm going to get a hammer, and I'm going to hammer these nails out. Oh my God. The universe must have been conspiring against me. I'm thinking it's easy. I don't know what those nails are made of. Rubber? Plastic? Every time these things take a whack, the nail bends. It's unusable. I can't get it out. There is no way that I can figure out how to basically efficiently and quickly get these nails out. I find a couple of tricks online for that, but it's none of the tricks I'm really liking. So I go back to Izzy Swan's video, and he says, well, you know what? Take yourself a little piece of wood, drill a hole into it, and then basically that'll help keep the nail straight while you hammer it out. I try that. That works okay for a little while. Then I try with a little piece of copper pipe. It's okay, but those nails are still all over the place. Until one day, I find this video of some Russian dude with an air punch. God help me. I gotta have this thing. This guy is working with a huge piece of wood with these 6-inch nails sticking out of it. And he's just going like clunk, clunk, clunk. And these things are coming out like a piece of cake. So it took me 2 weeks to figure out where to buy one of those things. At the time, this is in early 2013, Amazon doesn't have them, or at least I can't find them on Amazon. I can't find them anywhere, but there's this one guy in China. He's got it. And that's where I get my Air Locker air punch. And that's incidentally when I started also filming the technique, because I figured if I went through all this pain and agony, all this aggravation, all this stress, trying to find out how do you do this? But there's nothing out there. There's no palette-specific recipe to say, do this, do this, do this, do this. I'm sorry, I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but you guys that use Sawzall, that technique just doesn't work for me. I don't want nails in my boards. There is no way that I'm going to put a board full of nails through the table saw. There's no way that I'm going to put a board full of nails through a jointer or through a planer. Accidentally, I've done it, and I've seen what happens when you hit one of those things, and trust me, you don't want that. And this is why I do it. Everybody's technique is a little bit different. Everybody's preferences, depending on the project, is a little bit different. But that's why I do it. Because when I learned it, there were essentially almost no resources out there to really give you a good, optimized way of doing this. I'm an engineer. I'm an executive for a company. Everything I do in my day job is about, okay, how do I take this one little thing and how do I make it so good, so optimized, so easy that I can reproduce it pretty much like Henry Ford built cars. And once you have that golden recipe, that's what people want. You guys are here and you're watching these videos because you want to know how not only do you do it, but how do you do it easily so you can borderline mass produce this. And that's really the key. That's the value that I'm offering. What is the process to basically mass produce pallet dismantling without nails so that you can basically recoup wood and only wood, and you can have the confidence that you can run that wood through your equipment and not get into an accident. That's why you're here. And that's why I do it. Because I've made a lot of mistakes, and I'm trying to avoid you folks from doing those mistakes.